Greetings, this will be August 13th by the time this video comes out. I'm just waiting for the MODIS update on the NASA's FIRM system, and there is an update for the Sentinel-3 system. And this Sentinel-3 image gives us a really good opportunity to see how those northwest winds have pushed the smoke from these fire zones. And there is a fair bit of variation as these winds come down from the north and fan out. Some of those smoke trails are heading to the southwest and others are heading to the southeast. Let's zoom in. We are looking over top of the Tremont Creek fire, that's Cache Creek on the upper left-hand portion of the screen, and Logan Lake is about center of the screen, almost obscured by those smoke plumes. The latest hotspots detected occur about 5 kilometers north of Logan Lake. We're looking at the infrared now. Those yellow spots are older than 24 hours, so this is from August 10th, and we're rolling into August 11th. And now August 12th. We can see a large expansion that's moved on the east side of Tunkwa Lake and to the southeast. Also, along that southern perimeter, the infrared's broken into two main clusters, a large one on the east side of the road and a smaller one, also as intense, on the western side of the road. Both of these infrared clusters are in large forested blocks. The yellow squares are older than 24 hours, the orange squares are about 12 hours, and the red squares are the most recent 6-hour infrared. There's also some very large yellow MODIS squares. That's from the Aqua system, and I put those on because I believe this orbit trailed a little bit later, so we actually may be seeing the most recent data there. We're now looking at a generic background screen showing the forestation, the vegetation that is in the path of this fire front. There's lots of fuel there. There's also some diagonal infrastructure lines that run to the north of Logan Lake. This is the infrared displayed on the VWIRS showing the fire intensity. The light green squares are showing where the fire is its hottest. The blue squares are showing where it may be a bit cooler and older. And that compares with what we see on the NOAA system. Those red spots are the most recent and the orange and yellow are much older. So a lot of that intensity is on the southern flanks. The Suomi update comes around 3:30 p.m., but I am noticing these aqua squares that seem to have moved further south. So let's use that as kind of a baseline and see the distance from Logan Lake. Approximately 5 kilometers by this scale and 4 kilometers north of that diagonal infrastructure line. The winds are going to be fairly critical in this scenario. So we've been looking at winds coming from the northwest significantly with gusts during the midday, but this could shift, and hopefully this is a good news story that at 2 a.m. the winds could turn and come from the south. The winds are forecasted to blow from the south until early morning, and then they'll start coming from the southwest, and it looks like from the southwest all the way until Monday, when there could be another shift and come from the northwest. There may be variation depending on terrain, the vegetation, and how strong these gusts are in the afternoon, but it looks like a wind shift and coming from the south tomorrow. This is the forecast for 2 p.m. in the afternoon tomorrow, 6 kilometers an hour coming from the southwest. And hopefully we'll see evidence of this wind shift starting at 2 a.m. this morning, August 13th. Let's move eastward now. This is the White Rock Lake fire zone, and we can see that approach towards North Okanagan Lake and the lower right-hand portion of the screen, and up towards Monty Lake in the upper left-hand portion of the screen. This data is showing the oldest and the youngest hotspots. Those red hotspots are the youngest, and they appear to be within the older yellow perimeter. Many of those red, younger hotspots appear to be within the older yellow boundary, except for up at Paxton Valley at the top of the screen there. Those red hotspots have moved eastward and are occurring within the last, now about 8 hours. here we've switched to the radiative scan. We're looking for the most intensity. That's the light green colored areas. The darker blue are the cooler areas. And now we're turning on the aqua system to see the possible full extent of this fire perimeter. Let's zoom into the area around Monty Lake. We're looking at the Paxton Valley. I'm seeing most activity on the north side of the valley. There are some hotspots over on the right-hand side that have come down into the valley and look like they've met up with hotspots on the South Valley side. There's also still a lot of activity on the western side of Monty Lake up on the hill, and there's still a lot of intensity on the north side, north of Highway 97. We've moved now to the southeast flank of this fire. We're looking at west side, Killiney Beach, and we can see where the intensity is and where those latest Aqua Modus 750 meter squares are. Those squares may be off position and they may be obscured by smoke and cloud, but we can see where the hottest parts of the fire are on those southern flanks and eastern flanks. We've moved a little bit further north where another section of this fire has pushed eastward. We can see Okanagan Lake in the lower right-hand portion of the screen and Sweetsbridge up at the top of the screen. Falkland is just out of view at the top of the screen. And there's this large forested block. And if we're anticipating southwest winds, you want to be aware if you are north and northeast of this fire zone. So let's look at the forecast. Wind should continue from the northwest overnight until about 8 o'clock in the morning Friday, when they're going to turn and start coming from the southeast and the east. There'll be reasonably light breezes around 7 kilometers an hour with gusts that may reach 20 kilometers an hour. But then on Saturday at around noon, the wind turns again and starts coming from the southwest with ever increasing gusts right into Sunday, when the strongest gusts from the southwest should occur. There is some potential for precipitation on Sunday night, and the wind should shift again going into Monday, winds from the northwest. So we are looking at a lot of variation for the White Rock Lake fire zone, but hopefully tomorrow brings some light breezes from the east and gives a bit of a reprieve for the folks that are along the North Okanagan Lake shore. I had a request from viewer Barry to take a look at the Crazy Creek Gorge FSR fire. This has been going since July 10th. It's over 3,500 hectares, and it's on the northeast arm of Shuswap Lake. There are actually 3 fires in the area, the one at Crazy Creek, another one at Tunkwa Lake, and another K41-656, which is out of control, and I don't have a size on that one. The one up at Tunkwa Lake is also over 3,500 hectares, and that was started on July 9th. One thing I've noticed observing these fires, and we can see it in the smoke on this satellite imagery, is that the winds are very specific to this locality. It could be because of the terrain or the lake nearby. This Sentinel-3 satellite imagery from August 12th yesterday is showing that a lot of that smoke is still milling around in the valleys. This is the radiative scan for the Tunkwa fire to the top of the screen, and the Crazy Creek Gorge FSR fire to the bottom portion of the screen. And the intensity is fairly mixed along these fire perimeters. We're adjusting the scan now to see where the oldest and the newest hotspots are. Those red hotspots are the most recent. So we can see again it's fairly mixed. However, it does appear that the southern perimeters of these fires do have more recent hotspots. The situation page for this fire is available through BC Wildfire. The link is in the description below, and it was up to date to yesterday, August 12th, and there are control strategies at work on this fire with some specific locations. So if you're in this area, I would highly recommend that you stay up to date on those ground reports. Just before we leave this area, I want to jump over to the north end of Adams Lake. This is east of Adams Lake in the Momich Lakes Valley area. That's quite a bear of a fire that's grown. We've been watching this for a while, and it's showing a lot of new activity on those eastern flanks. We'll jump over to Windy and look at what the wind forecast may be for both of these fire areas. Winds are supposed to come from the east overnight, and then tomorrow they'll shift and start coming from the west. Not very strong gusts, but then Saturday winds turn and come from the southwest with stronger gusts right through Sunday. When the peak gusts in the afternoon will happen, then there's a chance for some precipitation to come in. Thank you very much for watching. Just a review of today's infrared and satellite imagery on the Sentinel-3 system for the Tremont Creek fire, which has extended down towards Logan Lake, but hopefully at 2 a.m., 10 minutes from now, there may be a wind shift and come from the south. That would be good news. Then White Rock Lake, watching out for those southwest winds that may come in the weekend, and likewise for the Crazy Creek Gorge FSR fire. Winds light tomorrow, but could increase from the southwest over the weekend and maybe rain on Sunday night. I'm going to check the latest MODIS Terra scan that usually comes in first thing in the morning about 12:30 a.m. and if there is any dramatic movement or expansion on any of these fire zones, I'll put it in an update in the description. Please be safe out there, and remember, if you're out and about, especially at night, watch out for our furry and four-legged friends who may be moving about trying to evade these fire zones just as we are. Be safe. Keep your nose to the breeze.